Race fans, welcome back inside the Mayhew Tools Garage for another race weekend preview. And this, one of the huge events on the schedule this year, is the Musket 250, the second annual event up at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And last year, guys, it was all the rage, all the hype, and the excitement going into the season. And at the end of the day, it was well worth the cost of admission. And Doug, this race, 250 laps, I mean, nobody really knew what to expect. But I think one of the things that took me by surprise was how intense you guys were all race long. Nobody sat back and cruised. You guys went after it.
Yeah, well, $25,000 in lap money will do that for drivers who are trying to make an extra buck for their team. And, this race had all the hype, and I left this race with a wrecked race car, but I was so proud of our series for putting on the show that we did and living up to the excitement. You know, people are so used to us running 100-lap features at Loudon, and they always say that's the best show of the weekend, but we proved that we could do it for 250 laps and have it be just as exciting. So as far as I'm concerned, it was a win for the track, it was a win for the series, and I'm really excited to go back this year and take another crack at it.
Phil, I put a couple of miles on up and down that pit road at New Hampshire trying to get to all you guys and get all the stories as the race went on. But I thought one of the race stories that came out before the green flag even fell was around the spec engine versus the open motor that you're allowed to run on the Whelen Modified Tour. Now, most teams are going to run the spec motor everywhere we go, but there's a couple teams, namely Ryan Preece and Gary Putnam's Modified, who nearly won the race in an open-type motor, and that was kind of surprising for me a year ago.
Oh, it's all on fuel mileage. The built motor does get better fuel mileage. It runs a smaller carburetor. So if that race would have gone green a long, long time, they could have actually skipped a pit stop on us towards the end of the race. So it would be quite beneficial for them to not have to come down pit road under green. So, it was a smart thought process on their part. We'll see what happens this year.
When you look at a race that's 250 laps in distance, everybody's now got a notebook to go back and look at. If you had to play this again as a crew chief, how would you play this race out to the best advantage?
Now we know what our fuel mileage is. In that particular, race, we could get it close for next year. So we'd be able to break the race up into different segments for ourselves. You basically have to run your race at that point with the fuel mileage. We tried, working with teammates basically within the LFR camp as far as pitting with them. If we came in and came out together, we could draft back up to the front. So we learned some stuff for next year.
And Doug, I know last year's race, you got stuck a time or two, you were a lap down, you had to fight back through that. But if you had to position yourself or do something a little bit different after having run a race that long last year, what would it be?
From a driver's perspective, we were in the catbird seat to win that race. We were the only car with 4 fresh tires with, I think, 6 laps to go when the caution came out, and there was nobody else on the lead lap, so there was only 6 of us. And, it just didn't work out. The restart didn't go our way. I got nerfed by a certain Cup Series driver who knocked me up into the marbles and kind of took away our chance to win. But as far as I'm concerned, a race like that, you just have to be prepared for anything. And I think the thing that I'm so proud of our team last year was that we were prepared for anything. We responded well when we were a lap down. We responded well with adjustments on the car to make it better for the end of the race. And then ultimately, we did have a car that could have won the race, and that's all you can hope for at the end of 250.